Hi, it's Cindy, and this is day 4 of our stress release challenge. What we're going to talk about today is a process that I use to help me release emotional stress, and especially on those really exhausting days. It's something that I learned from a mentor of mine, actually, and since I've applied this to my days, I really felt that even on those hardest days, they feel easier to get through. And the reason why is because rather than letting that really crappy moment that I feel like would have ruined the rest of my day, is I'm able to release it so that it doesn't ruin the rest of my day. But I'm able to get back to how I want to feel in the day and get back to being more of myself. So what I call this is being okay with the okayness. And what I was taught to do is really just being okay that everything is okay. And it might sound really silly or simple or odd, but I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can start to infuse this more into the way that you feel so that your stressful days can feel lighter. So today is less about trying a new task or doing something different today, but what it's going to be more about is having these gentle reminders that you can tell yourself and repeat to yourself when you are having those moments where you are doubting how awesome you are, or if you've had a moment where you don't feel so amazing about, rather than letting that ruin your day, is really just having it as an experience that you can now release. So the 3 things that you can use today are, the first is something that I do a lot, and it's remind myself that above all, I'm human. So I'm allowed to make mistakes. And really these mistakes are there to teach me something. I know we hear that a lot, and sometimes it can be like, yeah, but in the moment, I really don't want to hear or have a teaching moment. But what you can do is really not attach such a strong emotion to that mistake, because you know that you are human, just trying to do your best, and mistakes happen and it's okay. Okay? The second thing is knowing that every single emotion that you feel is valid. It's yours and you're allowed to have it. So what can happen sometimes is if you have an emotion that you don't feel so awesome about having, like I'm angry, or I'm insulted, or I'm frustrated, or anything like that, is what we can sometimes do is attach something like shame or guilt to it for feeling that emotion. And what I want to say to you today is that all your emotions are valid, they're yours, you're allowed to have them. But the key is knowing that it's okay to have that emotion, having that experience, but then letting it go. So not letting that emotion sit so deep and settle and then fester long enough so that you start creating all these stories in your head about why that thing is true. Why am I not doing a great job? Because why am I feeling guilty? Because, and then we start to create all this stuff going on in our head that doesn't allow us to let it go so easily. So know that your emotions are valid. You're allowed to feel them, to sit with it for a second, but then be okay with letting it go too. The third thing is something that I hear a lot. So one of the things that I want you to know is just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean you're a bad person. And the reason why I wanted to include this point in today is because many of the mothers that I work with in the Calm Mama method come to me with this feeling of, I'm a bad mom. This happened today. I feel awful. I suck. I hear this a lot. And what that does is it creates this feeling that because something happened that day that was stressful and that you didn't feel so great about, it now has defined what you say about yourself. I'm bad. I'm awful. I suck. And it would be something that is totally on a scale of 1 to 10, not awful, but we are perceiving it to be. So what the take away message would be for this part would be, just because you're having a crap day, you are still an amazing person. It doesn't make you a bad person. Okay? So I hope that these gentle reminders that you can take home today will be helpful with helping you to release more emotional stress. I find that that is actually one of the most heaviest things that can weigh on a person. So share your experiences in the group. I would love to hear how it's going for you, or how you even feel about hearing this today, or reading about it in the email that I sent you. I'm sure that what you have to share can help someone else in the group as well. So if you feel moved to do so, please share. Okay, I'd love to hear it. So have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 5 of the challenge. Take care.